Well, now that my social security check has arrived and I can afford to buy food again, I'm ready to begin new game +4. This time around, I'm going to beat Elden Ring exclusively using this awesome DLC weapon, the gazing, finger. They call this a finger, but I gotta tell you, this monstrosity looks a whole lot like some other part of the male anatomy, if you get what I mean. I implore you, just look at this thing very carefully. Anywho, I love this weapon. In fact, I love this weapon so much that I'm going to use 2 of them on this run. Yeah, what the hey? 2 gazing fingers to whack things over the head with sounds a shit ton better than just 1. If something's good, more of it is always better. Until it's not. Since this gazing finger thing weapon is a DLC weapon, we'll have to risk our lives to get to this joint. The Cathedral of Manus Matir. Geez, what a dump. We have no choice but to socialize with this freak who calls himself Count Ymir, high priest of this weird finger cult, I guess. I've only just met this dude, but already I'm getting some bad vibes. I mean, just look at this filthy, degenerate hand fetishist. Makes me sick just standing next to him. The things this game puts you through, I just love it. He's gonna blather on about some bullshit and yada yada whatever, until at last he hands over a map and this whistle thing. Gotta have this whistle thing for the horrors that await us on this long, ridiculously difficult and dirty quest. You traverse the most deplorable environment imaginable, running from those lizard face-sucking geckos that paralyze you with their hocus-pocus powers. Until you get to this phallic-looking thing you have to blow. I mean, look at that. It's a pee-pee hole is what that is. We have to blow into this hole. That Motherfingers cult is just sick. Sorry, baby, we gotta blow. Yeah, I know, just... And close your eyes. And think pleasant thoughts, like lower-priced prescription drugs or those snazzy tube socks on sale at Walmart. Yuck. I need some mints or gum or something. The things this game makes you do, for trinkets and the like. And to further satisfy the twisted perversions of this Ymir guy and his perfidious followers, you have to do this shit twice. Yeah, 2 of these highly questionable acts just to get this weapon. It'll be worth it, and no one you know will ever know what you had to do to get it. I ain't telling anyone what I had to do to get this awesome weapon. Except, of course, all you guys. After the dirty deed, you head back to Ymir, if that's even his real name. I'm sure he's required to register as a sex offender. He already knows about what you did back there, kissing the hole and all. Word gets around fast when you do that sort of thing. Yeah, I'll take your shit, you freak. But after this is all over, I'm gonna come back here and kill you. After you rest, you come back and the creep's gone. So you press this secret button here, and a secret torture chamber entrance opens up. If I had a man cave, which I don't, I'd want an entrance just like this one. Except I'd install an elevator, 'cause I sure as shit ain't climbing up them damn stairs. And yes, the bullshit continues, 'cause in order to get to the boss, you have to eliminate this finger freak. After I make quick work of that loser, I finally make it to... Ah, shit. Another one of these things to blow into? I can't wait to kill these perverts, 'cause I ain't digging this at all. Well, maybe just a little. But no, not really. Not a single bit. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. All right now, let's teach this anatomical abomination a mother-loving lesson on what happens when you make an old man like me blow some stranger's horn just to get a hold of the good stuff. Okay, now brace yourselves, my kind, chaste, and pure followers, because while fighting this multi-fingered brute, I noticed something on its chest for the very first time. And it's going to shock you, so be warned. That thing has a vertical slit in its chest. Yeah, you won't be able to unsee this. So get ready. Here it comes. Yeah. Dear Lord, look away. It's coming any second now. There. Yeah, you know what that looks like. Uh-huh. Yep. Combined with that bulbous, pee-pee-looking nose and that slit on its chest, this creature can literally screw itself. It can just stick that thing right in that hole and go to town. These finger cult Ymir following freaks are just sick. They just sit around all day screwing themselves. What a life. I'm gonna wipe these deplorable cultists from the face of this shithole world. It's time to bring some good, old-fashioned, stuffy, Victorian-style modesty back to this filth-ridden den of blowhole-blowing, depraved tricksters and make the lands between, or whatever it is they call this creepy place, great again. Look at that pathetic mistake of nature. thumbing its long-ass, thick, and semi-erect nose down at me. If it weren't bad enough having to fight this sex-perverted, autoerotica-loving, funky finger-mother beast, I have to put up with all her completely annoying, jumping, gut-splitting, and jizz-squirting nonsense that's just getting my cool armor covered in blood and gunk. Just look at all this showy magic shit. But all this crap can't compare to all the crap I get from the folks over at the Social Security office. If you've never fought this immoral beast before, or those monsters at the Social Security office, let me tell you, you're in for some S-tier level bullshit that will leave you howling at the moon like a crazy person. Finally, I get my chance and pound that hole with my meaty finger. And down goes the mother of all finger fetishist in this godforsaken, watery hellhole sex dungeon. Anyway, the first time dealing with Social Security is going to be way tougher. So there it is. You exchange this remembrance at the round table for the gazing finger, and then you duplicate the remembrance one more time at a coffin out back behind this church. And that's how you can get a hold of 2 of these hard ding-dongs in a single playthrough. But if you want to dress up in Ymir's armor set and look as freaky as he does, then you go back to his throne after the fight, and there, you'll have to first liquidate Ymir's hot-looking bodyguard. Then turn your focus on the twisted freak himself with his serious mother issues.
And I will be the only mother.
Disgusting. I'm putting an end to your repulsive freak-offs you've been having around here. All that baby oil. He's really shifty, like these demented perverts tend to be. And he summons those annoying finger creepy things and hits you with serious finger magic. The prick. But I can't tell you how satisfying it is to finally eradicate this worthless piece of doo-doo. That I did it while wearing his own armor and with weapons he foolishly let me get my hands on made this all the more satisfying. God bless America. One less pervert on our streets. Or rather, on the streets of, this place. Well, there really aren't any streets here either, but he's gone anyway. And so now, finally, after all that how to get these weapons backstory, we are ready to start New Game Plus 4 with the gazing finger PP thingy. This weapon is the bomb. I mean, I'm going to mop the floor with the base game bosses. Just watch how I'm going to bash this gargoyle into oblivion with a few ferocious swings. I shit my pants the first time I laid eyes on this thing. Good thing I wear those adult diapers. And it was at this point in the run that inspiration hit me. The only thing better than 2 of these stiff prick hammers would be 4 of these stiff prick hammers. Between my mimic and me, we could be the 4 fingers of death. There's a 2 fingers guy, a 3 fingers guy, now there's a 4 fingers guy, or gals rather. The hot 4 fingers of Elden Ring death. I really dig my character. She's beautiful, smart, brave, fearless, and I just ring my little bell and she comes running. I am one good-looking tarnished lady. So that's it. Here are highlights of those fights, lightly edited so as not to waste your important time, with an occasional comment or 2 on the action. Well, no, actually, I lied. I'm actually going to drone on and on about stuff throughout the video, but cool stuff. Don't you worry. I know better than to bore my sophisticated audience with frivolous drivel. And I know y'all are sophisticated folks because, well, you're watching this video. Stupid folks can't watch my videos. They can't because, you know, they're stupid. But as you feast your bloodthirsty eyes on these one-sided boss slaughters, I'd just like to remind you to hit that subscribe button. Thank you kindly. I need more followers so I can, you know, supplement my modest Social Security check with ads everyone will skip over on this channel. So enjoy this ad-free gem of a video while you can. I won't be able to keep those Manscaped and NordVPN people at bay for too much longer. Anyways, back to the killing with the 4 fingers of death. This strength build requires a lot of stamina and load capacity. You should also expect to take some damage as you stand and deliver your apocalyptic blows, so dress appropriately and prepare to exchange blows. None of these fights will last more than a minute or 2, especially the early bosses. Marvel at the destruction. The 4 fingers of death are simply unstoppable, a whirlwind destructive energy. We just smash and melt everything in our path. We're like maniac, serial-killing fantasy babes eradicating the bad guys, wild dogs, blind women, small children. Well, wait, No, not children. There are no children in this game. But trust me, if there were children enemies in this game, I'd kill them too. Anyway, my mimic and I are just like Thelma and Louise, only we're like twins. Between our R1s and R2s and the occasional L2 spritz of magic, just look at the power. It's like it should be. With me and my shadow-whacking living creatures with our robust Johnson clubs pounding away at anything that moves. The ash of war on this thing sends out a wave of magic that completely obliterates and lock-stuns humanoid enemies. The R2 action on this club is a reliable stance breaker, and you can feel the power when you smash something with it. It feels so potent when it connects, like hitting concrete. And because this weapon can be easily mistaken for a giant you-know-what, it's kind of a turn-on to, slap things around with that finger that isn't really a finger, Just look at this. It almost counts as elder abuse. Poor old guy just ain't got it anymore. We're just mercilessly hammering him down with punishing, bone-crushing blows and melting him with that colorful puddle of flesh-eating magic shit. The four fingers of death have no equals. Destruction follows almost as soon as they traverse the mist. Our thirst for bigger and badder Elden Ring mafia bosses to exterminate grew insatiable. Each victory just made our combined four fingers of death grow harder, stronger. Okay, I have to issue another warning now for my more sensitive viewers. When it came time to fight the fire giant, I decided, just to mix things up and make things interesting, to call in Alexander to join us in taking down the big guy. And then it happened. I accidentally stood behind him. And this happened. Yeah. It's kind of obvious this gazing finger is not really a finger. Just like this cigar isn't just a cigar. All right, enough of the silly nonsense. We have a fire giant to destroy. I went solo in the first round, bringing him to his knees in seconds. And then it's the four fingers of death and the spinning jar man in the second round. Go get him, Tiger. I also elected to stone him to death just because it felt like sticks and stones are an appropriate death for the Scottish-looking, one-eyed freakazoid. Afterward, I unceremoniously fall to my death. Thank you, Elden Ring. I really appreciate moments like that. The dynamic Laurel and Hardy duo were evaporated in a blink of an eye. And the two-part Malekith Black Blade Rumble, which used to give me the hardest time before I teamed up with Miss Mimic Tarnished, went down with a few swings of our ferocious body parts. We're not even as hopped up on turtlenecks, spells, armor, and muscle juice as we could be if we wanted to. The Ash of War, interestingly called the Cow Tower's Resentment, can keep human enemies like Sir Gideon here in a painful, yet beautifully bright death loop. Up and down, up and down. He doesn't have a chance to even beg for mercy. 30 seconds of the four fingers of death was all it took. The four fingers of death sent the shirtless Horaloo on his way to the emergency ward to fix all those broken bones we gave him. Radagon picked a bad time to go into his three-step slam act while I was standing behind him with my massive manhood. And the beast was his old grumpy self, but the four fingers of death whittled his massive health bar down to nothing after much running around. The monster did manage to slay my beloved twin sister in carnage, and that really pissed me off. She survived every other boss with me on this journey until this final moment when victory was in our grasp. This game is just so brutal. Nonetheless, I finish off the beast with the remaining two gazing dongs. This game is always giving us the one finger. In this game, we have this two-finger thing. We also get touched by the three-finger thing. And now, I have my awesome four fingers of death going on here. Of course, none of us could ever hope to compete with the five fingers of death. That 1972 Chinese kung fu masterpiece I saw when I was like 13 years old. But my four fingers of death ladies sure come close. We simply look amazing, whacking and spraying everything in our path with near-instant death. We have style, we have finesse, we exude panache, we got balls and very large peepees on sticks. I changed into more casual wear and my favorite hat of all time for my big moment. Just look at her. Look at me. No, you don't really want to ever set eyes on my loathsome self. Look at her. She's the real star of the Four Fingers of Death.
Our seed will look back on us and recall the age of the Four Fingers of Death.
Thanks for coming along on this fun journey. Help me out down there with a vote of confidence, or I'll slap you around with my gazing fingers that are not really fingers. Just kidding. No, I'm not. I really will.